Hey everyone, so today we're going to talk about something really cool. It's about leveling up from just using Ethereum to actually being a part of the network. We're diving deep into running your own Ethereum node, and I'm going to walk you through how it's done.
So let me ask you something right off the bat. Are you a user or are you a builder? If you've ever felt that itch to go from just being a passive participant to someone who actively contributes to the ecosystem, well, you're in the right place. This is where that journey begins.
Okay, so first things first, let's talk about the why. Before we get into all the technical details, the how-to stuff, it's really important to get a handle on, well, why would you even want to do this in the first place? What's the point of running your own node?
So what exactly is an Ethereum node? When you boil it all down, it's just a computer running some special software. This software connects to a bunch of other computers out there. It helps validate all the transactions happening, and it keeps its own copy of the entire blockchain. I love this analogy. Think of it like being a citizen of the Ethereum network. You're not just a tourist passing through, you're actually helping to enforce the rules and keep the whole system honest and secure.
And this all leads to one really powerful idea: sovereignty. When you run your own node, you are in control. You get a massive boost in privacy and security because your transactions aren't going through some shared third-party service. You get real, honest-to-goodness censorship resistance. That means nobody can just decide to block your transactions. And maybe the biggest deal of all, you become a living, breathing part of Ethereum's decentralization. You're not relying on anyone else, and you have total control over your hardware, your software, everything.
All right, that's the why. Now let's get into the practical stuff. It's time to gear up. We're going to talk about the hardware you'll actually need and break down the different kinds of nodes you can run. And trust me, they are definitely not all the same. Basically, you've got three main flavors to choose from. First, there's the light node. It's super minimal, only stores block headers, and it's perfect for things like mobile wallets. Then you have the full node. This is the workhorse, the most common type. It stores recent data, and it's what dApps and validators really rely on. And then you have the archive node. This thing is an absolute beast. It stores everything, every single state since the Genesis block. It's what powers things like block explorers and heavy-duty analytics.
Okay, so what kind of rig do you need for this? Well, for starters, you're looking at a CPU with at least 4 cores and 16 gigs of RAM. But listen, the single most important part, the one thing that's totally non-negotiable, is the storage. You have to use a fast, solid-state drive or SSD. Why? Because syncing the blockchain is incredibly demanding on your drive. It needs crazy high random read-write speeds, what the pros call IOPS. A classic spinning hard drive just can't handle it. It'll choke. And hey, while you can run this stuff on Windows or a Mac, pretty much everyone in the community will tell you, use Linux. It's just got the best support and is way more stable for this kind of work.
And when I say storage, how much are we really talking about here? Well, to put a number on it, you should be aiming for a 4 to 8 terabyte NVMe SSD. Yeah, that's a lot, but getting something in that range sets you up for success right now, and it gives you years of headroom before you have to worry about running out of space. You got to remember, that blockchain never stops growing.
Okay, hardware is sorted. Now for the fun part, the actual setup. We're going to get into the how-tos, and you'll see there are basically 2 main paths you can go down to get all the software running. So, the choice really boils down to this. Do you want automation or do you want full manual control? The first option, the quick start path, uses awesome tools like ETHdocker. It's perfect if you're just starting out or you just want to get up and running without a lot of fuss. The other way, the manual path, gives you that fine-grained, granular control over everything. But as you can guess, it's going to require a bit more technical skill.
Let's just take a quick peek at that quick start path. If you use a tool like ETHdocker, it's kind of crazy how simple it is. It's basically 4 commands. You clone the code, you run an install script, you answer a few questions in the config tool, and then you just type .ethdoc up to fire everything up. It's a super efficient way to get in the game.
Now, the manual path, that's a different story. It's definitely more hands-on. Ever since the merge, when Ethereum switched to proof of stake, a node actually has 2 jobs. So you have to run 2 different pieces of software side by side. You've got an execution client, something like Geth is the most popular one, which handles all the transactions. And you pair that with a consensus client, like Prism, which deals with, well, the consensus part. The whole trick is getting these 2 to talk to each other securely, which you do with a special secret token.
But we have to be realistic here. This isn't all just smooth sailing. So now we need to talk about the real cost of sovereignty. It's important to understand the trade-offs and what you're actually signing up for.
This quote here from a user on Stack Exchange, I think it just says it all. You're going to run into weird stuff. Syncing problems, strange errors, things that make you go, wait,
Is this normal or did I mess everything up? And the answer is, yeah, it's pretty normal. This is a technical project, and there will absolutely be times when you feel like you have to just nuke it and start from scratch. It's a marathon for sure, not a sprint.
So let's be crystal clear about the trade-offs. There are the maintenance costs. That's the hardware itself, the electricity bill, your internet connection. Then there's the time cost. You're going to spend a lot of time on setup, on updates, on troubleshooting when things go wrong. And reliability? That's all on you now. If your node goes down, it impacts you, your users, and if you're staking, it'll hit your rewards. And finally, security. You have to lock this thing down. Firewalls, SSH keys, protecting it from attacks. You're the sysadmin.
Okay, so after all that, the good and the challenging, let's zoom back out for the finish. Let's talk about what this all really means. What is your role in this grand experiment of decentralization?
Look, there's no doubt about it. Running a node is a big commitment. It takes real time and it takes real resources. But it's so much more than just a tech project. It's a statement. It's a real, tangible action. It's you casting a vote with your computer, with your electricity, with your bandwidth, for a future that is more private, more censorship-resistant, and more decentralized.
And that's really the bottom line. The Ethereum network, it isn't some abstract thing. It's a living ecosystem, and it's built and maintained by people just like you. The network is out there, and it's waiting. So the only question left is, how are you going to contribute?